Hey guys, it's me again, Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio up here. This will be a very informal video, as can be noted by that weird light bouncing off my shiny head there. Um, I'm just going to be having some fun tonight. I mean, I did 5 videos today of finished customer units, and I need to unwind a little bit here. Just have a little fun, talk to you guys for a change instead of just demonstrating units. Um, so just going to kind of go into my background a little bit. I had a lot of fun at my last day job. I was treated with tons of respect and just kind of wandering through those memories. That is my performance reviews here that I have. Was really just a real nice shot in the arm. When busy season like it is right now, and you get kind of discouraged because everybody wants their units back, and you're just so backed up that hey, you came in number 50, so you can't go out number 7. Yeah, I kind of like to remind myself that I'm a pretty decent guy when it comes to electronic repair. Um, so we'll just what the heck, just totally directionless and aimless here. I worked at Cobham Aerospace Communications for 5 years before I left that job to get this business, more off the ground. I had been concurrently doing the business with the job, and until I could build it up. And so, June 2012, it was time to jump ship, and here I am working for Barry's 8-Track Repair now. It's pretty strict boss too. Anyway, at Cobham, just a little background on them. They're based in the UK. They were voted in 2009. They were voted the world's ninth most respected company in the UK. So that gives you they're uh, pretty high profile company. Every single every single astronaut who walked on the moon was reportedly breathing through a Cobham respirator. They At the time I left the company, they were about a half a year into um, moving the in-flight fueling thing to their department. Apparently, it involves some really fancy and highly complex slip ring type deal, so it can rotate and while making electrical contact and transmitting its how full is the tank information to the computer. I don't know anything about that end of it. I was in the avionics part, but um, so we're just going to some of my reviews to give you guys a little bit of my background. It's available on my website too, all of this stuff. But I guess I haven't made it real easy to get to, or maybe just nobody is all that interested, and I wouldn't blame them. I'm a pretty boring guy sometimes. So we'll just kind of. I worked on quite a few different products at Cobham. You have to be signed off. FAA jurisdiction. FAA has complete say in whether or not you're qualified to work on any avionics gear, so it's a pretty serious matter. Now this is internal to the company. This stuff isn't really. This is just performance reviews, what the company thought of me, and how big of a raise I was going to get and all that. So anyway, we'll just kind of go into. I'll stop rambling. We'll just kind of mention some of it. This is the later version of their performance review. This is a version in which we rate ourselves, and then they put in then the management above us puts in what they think. And this is kind of interesting. So anyway, um, my role overview, as it says here, was a maintenance and repair of the following products with special emphasis on meeting or exceeding internal and customer required turn times. AT434A, that was an antenna used for the direction finder system. The DF431B was the receiver for that antenna. RMU 556, that was a CRT based control head for several different pieces of avionics gear that the Series 3 that they were putting out. KDA 557 was a data adapter. It converted AirLink 429 data to data that's useful in other areas of electronics. AirLink 429 is the standard basic aircraft communications language when you deal with electronics. And interestingly, the one of the tests, one of the final tests of the KDA 557 was to verify that it would send a short Morse code signal. So it was I thought it was fascinating that somebody somewhere still uses Morse code. C1000, that was a control head for the RT1000, which I did not work on. The Omniplex, that was an antenna system, amplifier system. 380, those were audio heads. 352, audio heads. N301, navigation heads, as designated by the N. NPX 138, it's either a navigation or an audio head, AA-82 and others. Anyway, so we're talking just several different types of products here. I was the only person in the building that was signed off on more products than myself was my supervisor. So let's go deeper in this interview. Okay, now this is my rating of myself at this, and this was a year into my stay there. I started there, I believe, in 2008. No, I left in June. Yeah, this is maybe a year and a half into my tenure there. So my rating of myself for this quarter: extremely high work output with little or no sacrifice in quality and reliability, eagerness to work with others to resolve issues, perfect attendance and start date, ability to work just as hard without supervision as with supervision, primary focus on the success of the company. Management comment: was a real team player and valuable asset in the solution regarding the DF431B test procedure issues. Okay, we won't go into this stuff. Okay, what the heck. Constraints: I'm supposed to rate my constraints, something to do with my constraints. And I would say a constant heavy workload due to the advent of NAT products in critical turn times, not leaving quite enough time for needed changes and improvements to increase efficiency. However, there is always a way to find or make the time once I'm more used to it. I can say in all honesty that I very much enjoy the challenges and pressures. Manager comment: Barry cheerfully accepted the challenges, knowing that there would be a steep hill to climb. He excelled under these conditions. Okay, so enough of that page there. Okay, summary of my overall performance. I'm trying to get this to where the light's not glaring on it. I'm not watching the screen as I read it. I'm reading it. I believe I consistently deliver performance far above and beyond the call of duty, as is reflected in my production records. In addition to consistently providing more than 3 times the shop average in repair quality, or quantity that is, that's 3 times more output than the average tech there. My warranty returns also remain at acceptable levels. Additionally, I have achieved perfect lean audits on several benches on 3 or more occasions. As is well known, taking on the challenge of the NAT products is a job suited best to very highly motivated individuals who have the desire and willingness to perform diligent research and deal with constant changes necessary factors towards completion of repairs. I believe I have taken on these challenges cheerfully and competently, allowing me to excel in the repair of NAT products as well as the more familiar Cobham items. My love for this line of work, along with my great appreciation of the way I'm treated here, have contributed significantly to my success in this and other areas. Although I feel that there is still much room for improvement and growth on my part, I feel that my contributions to the company's goals and objectives have been well recognized, appreciated, and highly rewarded. My own assessment of my accomplishments, combined with the perceived opinion of my superiors, are what give me the confidence to call myself one of the best. Manager comment: I couldn't have said it better myself. He continues to be a heavy hitter and is always considerate of the overall goals of the shop. Okay. His boss's comments. In manager's added comment: continued superb performance. His boss, over the whole department and the chief inspector, Barry is one of our highest producing technicians, and he has little to no R&O returns. That's warranty work. Barry is cooperative with management and is easily reassigned to other tasks. Barry has shown leadership in areas of lean and training. Great job, Barry. Keep up the good work. Okay, so that's that year, or that quarter. I didn't manage to snag all these quarters. I'm not supposed to have these records. It's not like it's illegal. It's just internal to the company, and they kind of didn't like us taking our stuff home. But I managed to sneak copies or cajole somebody. I forgot what it was. But so let's move on to another year here, or another quarter. See if or maybe we'll just stop all that bell ringing on my part here and just kind of move on to something else. Let's see. Okay, what the heck? Here's another. Here's another little sample. Which quarter is this? This is 2008, so this is a year before that. Okay. My self-assessment. At this stage in my career, I am quite satisfied that there is much more to learn in my current capacity. At the same time, however, I am always psychologically and intellectually prepared in case my presence might be needed in other areas, whether it would be a vertical or lateral change. I feel that my superiors are more qualified than myself in determining where I might be best placed and where I can rise to the challenge, and I'm confident that such decisions will be correctly made by the correct people at the proper time. With so many opportunities available, even in my current role, I find it difficult to narrow my aspirations into any definite direction and will spread my talents as widely as the company requires me to. I am certain that I will end up where I can offer the best service and where I will be happiest, as long as it's a lot of work that needs to be done in the most efficient ways possible. Boy, let's not be too lofty here, phone. Okay, management comment. Uh, Barry, no, no, okay, let's keep doing this here because it is a continued comment. Okay, so I go on to say, I believe I've consistently gone far above and beyond the Call of Duty in the last year, but fall somewhat short on in-depth electronics knowledge. Thankfully, this does not seem to have affected my work output, but it does motivate me to engage in much home study. My overall assessment of my performance is that I still see many areas in which I can improve. I believe that more responsibility would bring out more of my capabilities. Manager. Barry is an excellent technician that puts all of his talents to use and makes the most of his time while here at Wolfsburg, their name at the time. Barry has taken on the challenge of keeping up several benches and has done very well. Barry is also very good at multitasking from bench to bench. Barry has taken the most self-initiative in regards to complying with the lean policies. Barry is quickly becoming one of our most valuable technicians and therefore feel that he is qualified for promotion to Tech Level 3. So that, of course, was my Tech 3 promotion there. Alrighty, and then I won't go on to say what I closed with because it's one of these really syrupy emotional crap things. So okay, so we might stop with these. There's several more, but I think okay, what the heck. Here's another quarter. Okay. Okay, this was probably the prelim before the manager put his comment on there, so I'll just read what I said um, because it's a pretty major thing I did here at this company, and it really just kind of points up my skills as an innovator in this line of work because it seems that almost like every 10th unit I have to invent something to make the darn thing work in the absence of the right part. So, okay, here we go. AT434A. This is my own comments. When asked to become trained on potting the AT434A, I took the challenge many steps further and went on to train myself to replace outer shells, perform Mod 6 conversions, and rebond RMU 556 CRT filters to their bezels in order to become completely independent of the fab department, thereby saving time, paperwork, confusion, and lost shell assemblies. Yeah, I remember that. My most recent accomplishment of replacing them my most recent accomplishment on the AT434A has been the actual component level repair of shell assemblies to avoid the necessity of replacing them for warranty units. This step also makes available a much lower cost option to non-warranty customers with defective shell assemblies, saving them at least $1,000 over the price of a new shell assembly, and saves the company several $100s per unit in the case of warranty repair. I'm currently working with engineering to eliminate damage to A434A shells caused by moisture and water entry, which has recently become a significant problem. To my knowledge, I am the first tech to effectively and efficiently repair shell assemblies and was also the first to discover that we were not charging the customer for the RTV potting compound used on all AT434A repairs. This catch brings in an extra $75 approximately per unit. I currently have a reserve of 6 repaired shell assemblies built up less than a week after making the decision to try and repair them. Okay, so that takes care of that product. TU401 test panel. Now that was a navigation box. The VN411A was a navigation box that they used. It used, oh shoot, I can't remember the acronym anymore. It's been about, it's been 8 years since I left that company, so maybe I'll get back to that. But anyway, on the TU401 test panel it was a test panel for testing one of their navigation boxes, which now in avionics, every single piece of equipment requires its own specific unique test panel that has never been designed for anything else and really couldn't really be used for anything else because it's so highly specialized. So this is the TU401 test panel for the navigation unit that they were making. It was I think it was like a $10,000 panel, as I remember. I think it was going to India. So anyway, I'll just talk about that. This was a panel that we manufactured. This wasn't. I mean, I was also repairing their test equipment. I was helping to build their test equipment, their specific avionics test gear. So anyway, okay, on the TU401 test panel. After finishing the construction of the TU401 panel, I found between okay, I got to back up a little bit here. This was started by somebody else that was no longer with the company. Um, when I came in this picture, it was about, I'd say, I really don't even remember. I'd say maybe it was half wired. I mean, there's hundreds of wires in these things. These things are just the connectors alone are like 60, 70 pins connectors. So anyway, yeah, this was begun by somebody else, and I wanted to check his or her work before I started mine. Naturally, because to put another 40 hours of work on top of defective work, when it came time to troubleshoot that thing, and as complex as it was, there's going to be something wrong when you first fire the thing up for testing. That's why we test stuff. So anyway, okay, on that. After finishing the construction of the TU401 panel, I found between 25 and 30 wiring errors through continuity testing, which I was able to correct in time to ship the unit on schedule. KDA 557 test panel. Okay, this is a different test panel. This was a test panel for the data adapter. Okay, found and repaired a problem on an internal board, which turned out to be a wiring error. The company who built the specific product to test only their product had a wiring error that I found and fixed after it had been used for decades. Okay, okay, so where was I on this thing? Okay, which turned out to be a wiring error. Okay, all of the above accomplishments were performed concurrently with my bench responsibilities comprising at least 4 products at any given time without causing excessive delays in my shipments of repaired items on time. Now on the DEF431B, that was their direction finding, automatic direction finder. I was instrumental in the creation of WSI blah blah blah. It was a work procedure number which helps to stabilize the adjustment of T6007 and makes the receiver less sensitive to vibration and temperature variations. This modification has been implemented into all units currently manufactured. Whereas many ideas are considered and discussed in the repair department, my gentle aggressiveness, extreme motivation, and diligent communication have been the driving forces behind the transition from good idea to documented procedure in many cases, particularly those concerning the AT434A, of which the DF431B was its companion. The AT434 was the antenna, and the DF was the receiver. Okay, okay, so I think we're going to probably not walk away from the rest of this stuff here and go straight to my statistics, because I think we've found enough glorified comments from my superiors that treated me just fantastic, so why not break my back for them? Okay, alright, same, this is copies for in case I ever wanted to look for a job again, which might be McDonald's because they're paying pretty good now. Okay, this one is just kind of a count of how many different products I was signed off to work on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, that was of 2010. I left in 2012, so the number was closer to I think the number was like 24 or 25 different products that I was capable of working on. I could bounce from bench to bench. If somebody didn't show up, if the nav tech didn't show up, I could make it look like he worked that day a little bit. Okay. Okay, this is more syrupy crap that doesn't have a whole lot of statistical value. Okay. Yeah, okay, this is a pretty good one. This was my third year into the company. It's one of the quarters in my third year. Okay, my self-assessment. I feel I remained a top performer since my last review, and in fact have my incoming workload down to approximately 10 items at the time of this writing. This is the total incoming on this is the total incoming on 4 benches, including the DF431B, AT434A, RMU 556, 380, 52, N301, and 375. So that's more products than benches, actually. I believe my warranty return rate is still at an acceptable level, and I've managed to tackle this challenge largely without incurring the company the expense of working overtime. Much of the NAT documentation and parts availability issues have been worked out. partially due to my involvement, enthusiasm, and aggressiveness. The completeness and accuracy of my work orders have improved, as well as the quality and quantity of the work I produce. I feel that my personality and motivation remain conducive to a productive and enthusiastic work environment, and believe I have an excellent personal and working relationship with everyone in the company. Manager. Barry has shown he has the drive to move up in this company. He is a top producer and has the motivation to get things corrected as he finds discrepancies. Performance rating, outstanding. Gunny Highway. Okay, performance rating manager, exceeded expectations. Gunny Highway. Okay, okay, there's some more good stuff. Okay, now this is just comment. They don't really count. They're just things that we like to say. My comment, this is a great company to work for, full of change, challenge, and excitement. I'm honored to be a part of the action and look forward to many more years of personal and professional success. Manager, Barry has shown he is a top producer and is motivated to succeed. Comments, Senior Manager, Barry was faced with challenges in 2010 and still was able to be a top performer with total quantities shipped and maintained a high quality level. Barry is an individual who strives for excellence and is vigilant for ways to improve processes and is a champion of Lean and 5S. Barry can improve himself by becoming more familiar with the RSSQM and the FARs that pertain to the repair station. Those are basically the laws, the FAA standards that we are required to work by. We look forward to working with Barry and helping him grow as an employee and be successful in 2011. Okay, so this is just it was a fantastic company to work for, and it ran its course, and came out of it very much glad that I stayed there for 5 years. Right, see if we can. Okay, so let's just go straight to we'll just go straight to statistics because that's what really counts, and that's probably what you're concerned about. How good is his actual work in black and white, judged by someone else, not just bragged about on his website? So, okay, so here are copies of some of my performance reviews, and you're gonna see. You may not believe this, but this is these, and here's the color originals. So we're just gonna kind of run down the line here. The shaded areas. The shaded area, these are basically your table, from excellent, average, or, excellent, above average, average, below average, poor. The shaded area is where I am. That's me. Better than excellent. That's me. So let's go over these actual numbers here. Okay. Actual work hours, 455. Actual work days, 56.9, so it sounds like a quarter. Okay, average units per day, 3.27. Shop average is 1. Mine was 3.27. Okay, logged hours per day, better than 100% is excellent. I'm at 146.8%. Goals met. Actual hours logged, greater than 81%. Mine, or excellent, is better than 81. I'm at 119.3. Okay. Warranty return rate, excellent, less than 1%. I am at 0%. No warranties out of, let's see here. And then we have, now here's the, here's the fun part, guys, and you're getting this value too, believe me. Here are, tech's profitable hours, 542.6. That's my profitable hours. Here's my attendance hours, 455. I was there 455 hours, and I did 542 hours worth of work for him, making my value for that quarter $54,260. So, okay, there's that quarter. Alrighty, okay, here's another quarter, and you're gonna see how consistent these figures are too, man. Okay, here's another quarter, and you guys already know the table and the drill by now. There I am in the shaded area, off the charts again, literally off the charts. Excellence better than 100. I'm at 108.9. Um, better at 81. I'm at 88.5. Less than 1% is good for warranty returns. I'm at 0.6, 0.8. I'm not sure what that means. I guess I got one back or something. And also, even if it wasn't my fault, warranty units count against me. So it's all about the stats, you know. So and just like it is when it gets back in your dash for the next 20 years, I got to make doggone sure everything's gonna hold up, and so here's testimony to my efficiency and especially my, how well my work holds up, warranty return rates. Okay, so anyway, profitable hours 4089. Oh, okay, I was less profitable that year or that quarter. So okay, so I didn't. Okay, so basically, I just did fantastic, but the numbers don't seem to show it. But still, this was my performance review. This was the actual number. Okay, so we'll move on to another quarter and make sure we're not duplicating quarters here. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. We'll make up for that loss of profit last time. And it wasn't a loss of profit, it was just less profit. Okay, my profitable hours this quarter, 383. Actual work hours, 252. I worked 252 hours, put out 383 hours worth of work, basically worth of revenue. Once again, I'm all in the shaded area. That's me. Off the charts again. When I say on my website that my performance was literally off the charts, I really mean literally off the charts. Okay, another quarter. Alrighty. Uh, oh my God. Shit. Okay, you're going to love this one. Actual work hours, 240. Profitable hours, 485. I was twice as profitable as an excellent technician there, basically. So, okay, here we go. Holy shit. Okay, excellence better than 100%. I'm at 248.4% there. Okay, better than 81. I'm at 201. And again, zero warranty returns. Just like it is with you guys, Okay, and this is verified not only by, not just by some guy who, yeah, I worked for Barry before. Yeah, he's a really good tech. No, this is serious stuff here, man. This is FAA. This is stuff that was under FAA jurisdiction, not the actual performance review. And they don't come in and check my percentages. That's not. But everything I do to get these numbers is under FAA jurisdiction. To illustrate that point, and I have the work order a little bit later here to prove it. I waited more than a year for a 20-cent resistor because of FAA red tape, and we'll go into that later on. Okay, so let's move on to another quarter here. Oh, this one's in color. Ooh, nice. Okay, here we go. Okay, for this quarter, alrighty. Work hours, 466. Profitable hours, 630, man. Let's try to get better focus here. There, 630. Okay, and once again, I'm in the green. That's the actual color. It's not really gray. They're the original, so it's the real colors. Once again, I don't even tread into the 100 percentile area. I'm off the charts again. Okay. There we go. And guys, if it's facts, it's really not bragging. I mean, you guys need to know this stuff. I like people knowing that I'm a good technician, needless to say, and I like the fact that I've got third-party proof of it. Alrighty. Oh, holy cow! Here's another whopper. Alrighty. Actual work hours, 452. Profitable hours, 573. Okay. Once again, the shaded area, if it's Verifone, it's off the charts. Just like that. So we won't go into that big numbers game again. You guys get the drift on that. And here's another, and this is just to show you guys consistency. Another quarter, work hours 364, profitable hours 538. Performance again off the charts. I haven't touched the chart yet, guys. And this is all. I mean, it's verifiable if it's still in the company records. Okay, now, and soon we'll be getting to the really early reviews. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, here's one where my profitable hours come 4 hours short of actual work hours. Bummer. I only did fantastic. Oh, well. Okay, so, and needless to say, they treated me just like these numbers do. I mean, they treated me with utmost respect. I mean, I treated them with utmost respect too. Don't get I was professional as I could be. Um, my wife couldn't understand why I wore a tie to the interview. Why are you wearing a tie to the job interview? It's like, what? Okay. And interestingly enough, um, there's a that story continues. Um, yes, I of course I wore a tie to my interview. I didn't wear a suit coat. It was just a respectable button-down shirt with a tie that matched the colors and all that stuff. That I almost had to kind of fight my wife at the time to, um, to justify. I just said, honey, it's called respect. I mean, she's worked in the professional field. So anyway, as it turns out, well, and then what I said was, okay, check this out, honey. If two guys come in with the exact same qualifications, the exact same experience, they both look exactly the same value to them. One is dressed in a button-down shirt and a tie. The other is dressed in army fatigues. Which one are you going to hire? You got people from all over the world walking through this place. This is an avionics company. We work on airplane stuff. We work on stuff that people can die if it's not fixed properly. You know, anybody with a badge can probably walk right in and do whatever they want with us. Um, so anyway, but as it turns out, about 2-3 months after I got hired there, one of the technicians, Diane, um, I thought it was pretty cool that they had a chick tech too. Uh, she told me that my competitor was, in her lingo, militant-looking guy. So, okay, it's weird how things work out. Okay, now this is, what is this? This is Rookie Tech One. So this is my very first performance review, my 90-day review. After I first got hired there, this is my very first 90-day review. Incidentally, I got a promotion every single time I was eligible, tenure wise. Uh, but they didn't go by tenure. They went by output. Basically, if you're making the company money, they can afford to pay you money. That's pretty much how they went. So anyway, okay, let's go to this for instance, my 90-day review. Okay, it's very general. Okay, quality of work, outstanding. Productivity, outstanding. Knowledge of job, very good. Um, Comment by manager: Barry has required only moderate training and appears to have an excellent technical background. Okay, so very good. I only did very good there. Reliability, dependability, outstanding. Attendance, outstanding. Initiative, outstanding. Comments: I think Barry loves what he does and has a great attitude towards his work. Okay. Okay. Oh, here we go. Another comment by manager: Barry takes off at full speed each day and has required minimal supervision. That kind of sounds like the guy who works for Barry's HVAC repair too, man. Alrighty. Okay, well, okay, productivity, outstanding. Manager comment: Barry has truly risen to meet the challenges of the department and already been a key element in improving the shop backlog. The shop backlog. The new guy improving the shop backlog. He has learned and excelled in as many different products as I have ever seen of a new tech during his first 90 days of hire. I think that one bears repeating. That's a good enough repeating. Comment by my manager: He has learned and excelled at as many different products as I have ever seen of a new tech during his first 90 days of hire. Thank you, John. That was such a cool thing to say. Alrighty. Let's move on to the rest of this thing. Okay, creativity good. Simply because Barry has not had much opportunity to be creative during his initial time here. Most of my time was spent training, learning the product. Okay, working relationships, outstanding. Barry is reserved yet personable and works when it's time to work. That's yep. You guys know that about me too. Anybody who's dealt with me, especially. Well, okay, we won't go into too much of that stuff. Okay, adherence to company policy, outstanding. Overall performance, outstanding. Um, okay, and this is the signature of all the important people that had to sign it and all that stuff. Okay, so we'll move on to, let's see what else we got here. So we've been over the stats. Okay, we went over the EPDR, that long-winded review process. We've been through the stats. We've been through my 90-day review. this is just some comments on plans that I had to do things on the test benches and stuff. Okay, this is when I was on the verge of reaching Tech 4, the Tech 4 position, but they eliminated the position before anybody could get Tech 4. Probably something to do with the NAT integration because that cost them probably $1 million getting all their paperwork straightened out to FAA jurisdiction. Canada goes by a different different. Canada's aviation department is different from ours. They don't. They're not FAA. I don't know who they are. I forgot who they were. But so uh, their paperwork didn't really have to meet any type of real strict like government standard or anything. They just kind of, some of it looked official. Some of it was, literally pen scratching on a piece of paper with a few numbers, and it was stuck into a file, and that was the test procedure. So anyway, every single bit of it's illegal in the avionics industry. Um, you cannot send out a product without um, everything has to be repaired using only the parts the FAA approves of. A very specific part that's met, you know, probably beyond military testing. I don't know all that stuff, ISO 9001 or whatever it is. But at any rate, you can't go down to Radio Shack and get a resistor and installed in a piece of avionics here and ship it. That's no, 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 no. Can't do that. It has to be a part that is regularly stocked. That specific part, it would have a three-digit number followed by a four-digit number followed by a three. I forgot exactly, but a certain number of groups meant it was a chip. Certain number of groups meant it was a resistor, capacitor, diode, whatever. But at any rate, um, all of the NAT paperwork. I went to Kelowna, BC, to train on new products because NET was being integrated as Northern Airborne Technologies was being integrated into our building, and all their Canada-based paperwork had to be redone and revamped to meet FAA specifications, and it had to be all printed and of course made all official like and everything. The changing the documentation alone, I think, cost the company like $100,000. Um, and that was just not even the tip of the iceberg as far as how badly that place became. You figure 200 new employees adds. Let's see. Let's say okay, 100 new employees adds an additional 10,000 lines of communication, not even counting the existing company that they're moving into. Okay, we had 200 people move into a building of about probably two or 300 existing people, and oh my God, oh man, I mean, my supervisor puked in his office, had to be rushed to the hospital. The stress and the craziness was just, God, it was just ridiculous, man. Uh, but anyway, so that explains anything I say about NAT. That's what that was about. Is the nightmare that was the integration of that company into the Cobham building, and the fact that everything of theirs had to now meet FAA standards. Uh, Probably didn't have to do much to their gear. Their gear was fine. It was their documentation was well, kind of hodgepodgey, kind of haphazard. It had to be all redone. So anyway, I think that pretty much. I've never really, like spray painted in big bold letters on my website, my background or this or that. And I think it's kind of nice to know that. I think it's kind of nice for you guys to know that too. Um, for instance, a customer who may be wondering, well, how in the world is he taking so long? This guy is slower than molasses. Well, no, it's that It's that I'm just being bombarded with machine guns of car radio. That's like blah, 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 and it's constant. It's like that at all times. And the repair work is just a tiny slice of everything that needs to be done with the job. Firstly, I have to be prepared to be able to fix the job in the first place. That means I've already spent countless hours overnight on the computer researching parts from all over the world and gathering all the every motor that I could find in quantity, that could be used in an 8-track player, because I knew someday I would need them. And I mean, it's that way now on Chryslers and Fords and AMC's. Motor replacement is a necessary part of the repair process. The failure rate is so high on those motors. I won't send a unit out of my shop with an existing motor. Um, it doesn't make me look good when it fails, and it's going to fail because of their known failure rate. It's going to happen. So, um, just being prepared and anticipating even the need for the preparation is just an incredibly exhaustive thing for me as far as my constitution and my it's just constant go 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 go, and it's not frequently about 90% of what I do with your radio wasn't even on the bench, Um, so I mean, thankfully, nobody's really raising a roof or anything like that. But just so you know that, hey, man, even when I'm working for somebody else and having to please, a company to earn a living, um, I get out there and I tear freaking ass, man. I mean, I don't get by with the quota. It's like I'm there to kick out as much work as I possibly can, make it work as good as I possibly can. That's how I become a stronger tech. That's how I end up, you know, somehow in a better position someday. It's definitely better to be a stronger tech. The more practice you get, the sharper the skills become. It's a pretty much an unavoidable outcome, I think. So anyway, yeah, just I just thought it was a good idea to kind of give you guys a little bit of what other people, very big people, have thought of my service, my work, the kind of work that I do. It's pretty much the same here. I'm still, I mean, they still manufactured a lot of pretty archaic products that they needed to purchase lifetime supplies of certain parts so that they wouldn't run out because they got to keep manufacturing them for a certain number of years, so they always had to have those parts. And these old can style integrated circuits that had 8 wires coming out of them, and they literally look like a big old little bitty daddy long legs. Um, they haven't made those in decades, and this company needs thousands of them so they can keep manufacturing the AT434 that I worked on. Those were that was the balance modulator was that integrated circuit that was I can't remember the the, the number offhand. It was some kind of a balance modulator on the antenna board. There's two of them. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Just want to give you guys a little background. Um, little proof of my performance, so to speak. And not just it's easy enough to make claims on a website and to even put up fake testimonials or maybe not put up the bad testimonials, this or that. Um, let's just go straight to the facts. I mean, this comes straight from my years working on electronics that was used in aircraft, and I can never think of all the companies off the top of my head. Oh, but I do have a few work orders here, um, and probably nobody you remember. But okay, this is Horizon Air, and these are actual FAA work orders. There's nothing really. They're just I needed some records of some things that I had to do to kind of defend myself. Somebody at the company was kind of giving me a hard time, trying to get me in trouble, so I needed to go behind their back and get some documentation so that I could bring out the entire truth, smack right in the middle, before they had time to make up any lies to defend it. And it did work. But anyway, okay, here's a Helicopter Support Incorporated. Some avionics is using helicopters too. This job was started by me, finished by somebody else, and retested by me after they tested. Okay, who else we working? Who else are we working for here? Helicopter support. Looking for a Learjet worker. Helicopter support. Here's an NAT parts list from NAT. Um, um, this was an official NAT document. It looks okay. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. Except you can see the corrections. This is what they were still using for their own purposes. To make scratches out and corrections. My God, the FAA comes in and sees that, you may be going out in handcuffs. Um, I would do it here, but you don't do it. When FAA inspectors are coming around. let's see, this is just some. Because I am most likely the only person who has ever worked on both Learjet avionics and Learjet A-track players. Um, most A-track enthusiasts know that Learjet was the one who pioneered the A-track format based off of the four-track format. Um, and But not many people work on Learjet avionics because you're not allowed to. Um, to work on avionics, I mean, for one thing, you got to have the unit's specialized text figure. There's nothing in an airplane that you can hook up a meter and a scope to and troubleshoot. Um, it's this big old huge round 30, 40, 50 pin connector, and you have to have this specialized text fixture that has all these little switches and programs and this and that to simulate the aircraft's reaction to what you're doing with the controls and all this. So it's a weird thing, and I just kind of forgot what point I was working up to, so that one's just going to have to probably probably be forgotten forever. Sorry, guys, I do that sometimes. It's age. Um, but one thing I can say is the electronic work, including the technical end of it, the brainy end of it, it's been since 1973. It's automatic. I mean, I could probably drink half a pint, and well, I would die before got too drunk to work on a unit. I can't do anything when I'm drinking. That's why I don't drink. Um, but I mean, electronics to me, it's an automatic thing. It just becomes an instinct. When people ask me, well, what could cause this or what could cause that, and I'm just draw a blank because I don't want to think about that right now. I don't even think about it when I'm doing it. I just see it and fix it. Um, a lot of it is 50 years as a technician, or going on 50, whatever it is. Um, you just don't, you really don't drag schematics out and scopes and calibrate this and that and set your signal generators this and that. The same stuff goes wrong pretty much most of the time. You know what to do, um, and it's silly to go through it. Now in avionics, I had to. Um, at the Anytime we repaired a unit, um, we had to run it through a complete test procedure. It had to be documented, a copy sent to the customer, kept on file for the FAA. And some of these test procedures run 20, 30, 40 pages. And if we so much as had to, like, okay, I've got my unit fixed, I've signed it off, I've put on the do not remove or warranty is void stickers and all this stuff. I set it up on the chief inspector's table for him to take one last quick peek at before he approves the paperwork and sends the 8133 and all that stuff. So he'll pick it up and he'll shake it, and if he can hear a little fragment of metal, buzzing around in there, maybe a screw loose or this or that, all you gotta do is just pop the cover, pluck it out, and you're cool. But no, you gotta run the thing through the entire procedure all over again. If the procedure took 3 hours, you gotta do it all again, buddy. Um, or at least fudge the numbers. If you know of certain circuits, if you know that these numbers are going to be good because this circuit's showing that it's working fine, sure, nobody knows, and it doesn't make any difference. We know it's working, but legally and technically, you had to run it through the entire procedure again, and be exact with all the numbers and anything. And that brings to mind some of the companies I work for. Factory spec, it's nice, you know. Yeah, it's nice to meet factory spec. Yeah, it is nice. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for putting up with me. Um, didn't have much else to do tonight. Kind of needed to unwind. This has been a very pleasant video. I haven't had to remember anything or show anything or punch anything or pull or twist anything. It's been kind of groovy. So hope it doesn't sound like that I'm being like super self-indulgent here. I just think, I mean, why not? I've got the experience and I've got the credentials, and um, why not let customers know about it? In addition to what I think of myself as a personal technician working in Barry's A-track repair. So there you go, guys. Just another little bit more, just another little element for you to throw into the soup and see what I taste like, so to speak. That definitely didn't come out the right way.